blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Mix it non-stop with the hottest DJ.
I'm your host, Joshua Diaz.
Non-stop.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? Good to see you. Good to be here. I can't see it that way. Let's go back to it. What's happening? I know. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. Matter of fact, if you're a member, then this would be my third stream in 2 days. That's how, it's an ebb and flow. But welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. It is 8:23 here on the West Coast, Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. Good to be here. Good to see everybody. Thank you for dropping in and making the lab a part of your day. We streamed late last night. Thank you for everybody that showed up. What a great show we had. And thank you for being so supportive and genuinely interested in my life. That truly does mean a lot. I feel that it's very how would I put this? I feel it's very uneventful, but people are genuinely interested in other people's stories, and that is such a fantastic thing. And tonight, we're gonna take some phone calls, which is always fun. I always enjoy talking to people about cases, and it was anyway, yesterday was fantastic. Great Monday, great show. Tuesday, this show will be just as good. I feel it. Little bit, if you're out there, I've been working on I've been working on a little bit of what we had talked about, and you'll be hearing back from me here in the next day or so. It was an honor for you to reach out and trust me in that way. So thank you so much for that. Now, before we get into the calls, like I said, I want to thank everybody for the support and the just really the camaraderie that we have here on the lab is special. The people that show up make this channel what it is. It's less to do with me and more to do with the people who show up here. So I wanted to say that I appreciate you. Okay, so without further ado, I'll throw up the phone line, and we'll take what we can, or who knows. I don't know if anybody will call in or not, but if not, I can always, me, I can always wing it. Let's see here. Amy Landridge became a YouTube member right now. That is awesome. Thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Little bit. Hey, how are you? Thank you so much again. I've been thinking about you, and I just want to thank you. And like I said, we'll be in touch. All right. So let me throw that number up. Okay. So the call number is at the bottom of the screen. How we'll do it, obviously when you call in, you'll be put in a queue. You'll be able to listen to the show while you're on hold, because who would want to miss a second of the lab, right? Who would want to miss a second of the lab? Is this stream going to stay up to catch the replay? Yes, it is. Absolutely. You betcha. You betcha. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that so much. As we come to the end of the month, and man, it's so weird. When you're younger, and I've talked about this before on other, just in general, I've talked about it, but when you're younger, it feels like it takes forever to get to like 21. It feels like it just takes absolutely forever. And then when you hit 21, the months just fly. The days fly. 2 weeks doesn't really seem like 2 weeks anymore. You'd say, 2 weeks is a long time, but it's just not. It doesn't feel like a long time. A month is not a long time in the grand scheme of things. I've always been fascinated with the way that time really does just take off. And it certainly does. It certainly does. Wait until 50. Well, I'm not going to have to wait that long. Let me see here. Karen Baz, we appreciate you as well. The lab is the place to be. I appreciate that, Karen, so much. And, we're a drama-free channel. So, we don't like it. We don't like it. Josh, every decade goes by faster and faster. That's true. That's true. I've read about it too, a little bit. It is really weird, because when you're younger, you don't have that much to remember. Your memories are much more vivid. And then as you get older, those memories go to the back, new memories come forward, and there's just not as much space. So you're just like, wow, where's the time going? Where is it going? Nobody really knows. It just goes, man. It just goes. Being a father at such a young age, I'm 36 years old. I have an 18-year-old son and a 17-year-old son. I mean, that's crazy. Where it's almost like he's my little brother, kind of, in a way. It really does. It really does feel like that. I remember thinking when I was 18, going, well, you know what? When I'm 36, he'll be 18. I used to think that. And guess what? We got there. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line. 857.
Hi.
Hello.
Long time listener, first time caller.
How are you?
Hey there. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yep.
I certainly can.
God, you're the best. I wanted to say a few things about the Summer Wells case.
Okay.
I took a few notes when I saw that you had something scheduled for tonight. So things I've been thinking about. Love to hear your take and your listeners. I won't stay on. I'd love to float them. And maybe I've addressed them before. I haven't heard every show. So I apologize
That's okay.
for that in advance.
Nobody's perfect.
But I wanted to, I'm sorry, am I talking over you?
No, I'm talking over you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Hey to Otis, by the way.
He's the celebrity.
Yeah, I know, right? So one thing I think is or will stand in the way of bringing justice for Summer, if God forbid that happens. But if there's no justice for Summer, I think the lack of credible witnesses is a huge deal. If it's a circumstantial case, hopefully they have more than that, but they're not telling us. The Orrin and Orson Wetwell classic and sincere case brings me a lot of encouragement because I did look back at the press conference they had at, I think it was the 1 year mark, and at the law enforcement. And they were very, and I rewatched it after the arrest of the adoptive parents. And law enforcement just played dumb. And then when this arrest came out of nowhere, they said just weeks after, they were already onto suspecting that they never really made it to their new home, right? So they've been working on this for a long time. So I'm hoping and praying that something like that is really happening, that we don't know in Summer's case. That's my first thought is, lack of credible witnesses, either people afraid to come out or the people we've heard from. They have too many issues and they can be completely impeached on the witness stand. Yeah. I'm thinking.
Yeah. My take on that is it has always been and will always be that the problem is the players that are involved. When you have the main suspects in this case, and I don't care what law enforcement says, are the parents. Okay. There's no other suspects. Law enforcement has not said that they're looking in any other direction. Matter of fact, the DA went as far to say, say it's the people that we're dealing with, basically, that is making this an issue, because there's only a couple people that know what happened. There's only, look, you're not going to get a good witness out of Dawn and Candace. Just not. And
no.
Grandis seems like she has always and will always back up Candace, even though what I've heard is that Candace isn't really that nice to Grandis. That's just what I've heard, but I've heard that from Don himself. And so she'll back him up on almost anything, or she'll back her up on almost anything. I couldn't imagine being a grandmother who just sits by idly when I've already had a daughter go missing. And I'm not saying that Candy has anything to do with what happened in that case with Rose, but obviously there's issues there. And these people do not want to talk with law enforcement. They just don't. And that's causing a problem.
Exactly. I was thinking about what I hear you replay in your intro and extra, that's the term, with Candace saying, I've got to do what I got to do for me and my boys, and Summer's an afterthought, and my kids,
Yeah.
And Grandis was the very same way when I'm stating the obvious here, when she came out to the news, and the news said she contacted them, right? They didn't reach out to her for comment after Ronnie Lawson said they lawyered out. They said that she called, or even Grandis herself, she said, that's why I called you, like leave us alone. So she and Candace both really reeked of this whole, what, just go away, forget about it, it's done, we're sick of you people sniffing around here, just forget about it, it's none of your damn business. Excuse my language, sorry.
No, that's
family
all right.
show.
No.
I apologize.
Damn's a family word.
That's guilt. What? And yeah, nothing broken up in Grandis. I mean, this was her chance to show some genuine emotion, if in fact there ever happen to be any, about Rose too. Oh my God, this is before, but it's all a go away vibe. And, abduction, okay, ridiculous, no evidence, possibly still on the table, but I keep going back to that apathy of all three of them. So they absolutely, if something happened to Summer, even if it were an accident, we know something happened to her, but the accident theory, I don't buy it, because I keep going back to their apathy. If there were an accident, wouldn't they be completely broken up over that, or completely rocked with guilt? And they wouldn't even still have to say they were guilty, but you see some emotion there, right? Other than for themselves, right?
I think that if an accident did happen, that they're the kind of people that would cover it up because they don't want to get in trouble for it. And they know that with their problems with CPS in the past and their criminal history, that it would not be looked on as a favorable situation for them. And they are absolutely the kind of people that would be able to hide those kind of emotions with drugs and alcohol. And they're thinking, and I've heard them say this, she's our daughter. It's not your business what happened.
Right.
They don't want anybody to know.
Yeah.
And so I do believe that the accident theory is possible. I don't know, obviously like anybody else, but they are absolutely in it for themselves. The game to me now for them, and it, make no mistake, it is a game to them, is to stay out of jail, stay out of prison.
Yeah.
I mean, where's Candace at?
That was so. Where's Candace at?
Right. Yeah. And another thing is, I am, and I've said this before, I'm pro law enforcement. I am. But why? Why are they not hauling them in there more often? Why, where are the updates? Where is the, right before they went on the Dr. Phil show, they came out with a spreadsheet of frequently asked questions because they knew that they were going to get hammered. And it's kind of like what's happening in the Dylan Rounds case. I spoke with Dylan's mother. I don't know if you're familiar with the Dylan Rounds case, but
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke with Candace today, and Box Elder is not going to relinquish the case. They're not turning it over. Why they're not turning it over, I don't know. And I would think that, and my hope is that law enforcement has leads on this, on Summers' case, both really, but that's the hope. And right now I'm clinging to the CPS case being closed, and maybe that's when we'll get some traction with this case.
You would think after a year of the boys having been removed from the home that it would be closed.
There has been so many different, they have a court date here, they have a court date there. None of it is ever substantiated. It's not going to be public. Those kids are minors. They're not going to tell us, exactly what's going on. So all I know is that CPS cases and the system, I don't know what it's like in Tennessee, but it can't be any, better than, California or any other place. And they're all log jammed. It's all jammed up. And the sheriff's department also has other stuff to work on. I mean, they're looking for stolen tractors and stuff. Honestly, they have other work to do. As crappy as that sounds, if you look back to the detective himself says, I got a caseload. I got to check. I got to check my other stuff. I have other stuff to work on. That sucks.
Yeah.
And so,
and it really sucks.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It sucks that from that interview we saw with the detective, I forget his name now, but I know what you're referring to. Where he says, first thing in the morning I check voicemail, I check any new tips, and then I move on to my other cases. And I know our hearts just sank that that's how Summers prioritized. And the TBI, for all they do across states, they're stretched thin. It really saddens me, though, that everything filters through the sheriff's department. How do they know? They're very weary, and I don't want to just gripe about it. But I also want to say, Josh, maybe they are pulling them in. We just don't know about it.
Well, that's not what the detective said.
Oh, really?
Did you ever see the detective's interview? He said they are not they are not talking with them. They are not. Well, they are no longer cooperating. What's that?
Right. That they could be hauled in, but they would be voluntary, right?
Yeah. They would have to. It would have to be voluntary. I mean, unless they're ready to bring charges on them, which they're not. And the district attorney did say that there are crimes, elements of crimes, or whatever, however he phrased it, saying that there are elements of crimes. They're just not defined yet. And you know what? The district attorney probably wants something more substantial. I mean, they can't make up evidence. It is finding missing, especially a missing 5-year-old girl from a remote area. And I don't think people really understand how remote this place really, really is. Yeah. And detective says implications. There are implications of crimes. And who knows what kind of a head start that they had on law enforcement. They know that place. They know the area.
Yeah. That's another thing. and I'm not sure, and maybe you can remember how long Churchill Rescue Squad was taking the lead in the search, and is that when Adventure with Purpose volunteered their services and was told, no thanks, she's not in the water.
Yeah, I've
And if you don't know where she is, how in the heck do you know she's not in the water? So now if there's a different lead than there was then, is it worth some kind of campaigning, like demanding the way, and it was successful with the Kylie, wasn't it? Wasn't the Kylie Rodney case where people, yeah,
yeah.
where people on social media were saying, hey, let Adventure with Purpose help, and they finally caved, right?
Right.
Do you think there's any chance of that happening? Maybe approaching TBI instead of
What I
those early days.
from what I understand is that the water, the little ponds and landlocked lakes had been searched. It's not like the Kylie Rodney cases. I mean, they were on an island. Her car disappeared off the face of the earth. Well, where, everybody in the country is looking for it. Where could it be? Well, I mean, it's probably in the water somewhere, but where exactly? Now, with this case, could she be in the water? She could be. The chances of it probably aren't very likely.
Yeah.
But once again, if people are willing to come out and search, what's the harm?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I don't know. I know EquiSearch was out there, and I know that I don't know if they have. I don't think that they have been asked back, but I do believe. Like, what is the harm? What's the harm if people are voluntarily wanting to search? I don't know. I just don't know. There seems to be a lot of egos at play in a lot of these cases. And I don't know if that's the situation here, but you would think that they better have something. If they say that she's not in the water, then they better know something that everybody else doesn't. I mean, because that's what I mean. What happens if she is found in the water? Then what? You fire the whole sheriff's department?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
Well, how long did it? Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, and then I think I might have answered my own question. I was wondering because as I said, I keep clinging to hope because of Costigan's this year's adoptive parents being arrested.
Yeah, that
murder,
and that came out of nowhere,
right? Yeah, absolutely came out of nowhere, and everybody was mad at Bakersfield or Cal City, right? PD thinking they didn't care, and they were working their asses off this whole time,
right?
That whole time, but I don't know. That's California. What about rural Tennessee? I don't know. And I'm not putting down anybody in rural Tennessee. I know anyone who's listening to your show and follows Summer Wells' case is just as frustrated, as we are.
And we've all paid attention to this for a long time. And it is not an easy thing to process because 99.9% of people, when a little kid goes missing, are going to keep searching. They're going to want to keep that. I mean, these letters that Don sends, are just, they're puke, and I can't stand them, but that's just how he is, and he's got a media manager that's trying to help him out and make him look, like he's a better person than he is. Yeah. And it's more about Don's image when he gets out than it is anything else. And you know,
I know. Isn't that ridiculous? Because the more that is said from that side, the guiltier they all look and sound. I mean, it's really counterproductive, in my opinion. Every time Tim Mullins comes out to speak, it's just as damaging as when Don speaks or Candace speaks. It's just more to pick apart. And
yeah,
they just make that. So it's great because law enforcement probably doesn't care at all. They're thinking this is more evidence to use if it ever does.
I 100% agree, and I appreciate your call and your thoughtfulness in your questions and your conversation. I appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you very much,
All right.
and I'll enjoy the rest of your show.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
Josh.
Bye-bye. Great call out of, actually, I don't know. Did somebody hang up? Don't hang up. Let's see. 614. You're on the air.
614, is that Melbourne, Australia?
Well, I don't know. Is it?
It is.
How are you?
Miss Enigma, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. I was just hanging out with my old dad, and I asked him if he wanted to talk to America, but he didn't want to.
No. Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. I want to thank you for last night. It was really good for you to open up and trust us and us learn about you.
Thank you. It was a great show. People were very interested and supportive, and I couldn't be more blessed and comfortable with being. None of this stuff is what happened to me in my life is not off limits. When you don't talk about it, that's when it really has became a problem in my life. And so I do appreciate being able to share my thoughts and really retrospective, I don't know. It is therapeutic. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I hope people learn from you and learn to open up. Because, as you said, it's not good to bottle things up.
No, it is not. I just received a note too. Is it your birthday today?
It is my birthday today. I'm a young 44.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Someone in another chat called me ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm not ma'am.
You don't want
I'm
that.
too young.
Don't let them start calling you that yet.
And regarding summer, I'm worried we'll never find out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look, that is an absolute valid feeling. But we got to remember that there are other cases at play here, and hopefully we're able to see some traction here soon. I do believe the case will get solved. I don't know whether that's with Summer's body or finding Summer. You don't get away with crimes just because you're good at hiding a body. Okay. So that they can absolutely prosecute them for something. And that's
I'm chasing a dog up the driveway.
That is the hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I've got an electrician arriving and his name's Josh.
Well, it's a very popular name. I had a class where there was 4 Joshes. It was awful.
My cousin's name is Joshua.
Oh, we'll see. That's what I'm saying. It's one of the most common names in the world, like that and Muhammad. But but I
And
but that's how. But you know, that's just how I've grown up knowing a million other Joshes.
yeah, and I think with Kylie, people need to just leave the family alone now.
Yeah, that's a backer down situation. Wow, the yes, it gets worse and worse and worse by the day, and I absolutely hate that. It's just let the investigation run its course. The speculation is not helping. There's grieving family and friends now, and I think whatever happens in the investigation happens in the investigation. If there's foul play, there's foul play. If there's not, there's not. But the thing is, when they come out and say that there's not, and I think that is what will be said, that's once again just speculation on my part. What I think is that they will still not take that and be done with it. There are people who think everything is a crime, everything is a conspiracy. And I'm here to tell you, folks, that's not how the world actually works. Accidents happen. I don't know if it has all the makings of one, but who knows until the investigation's over. There may be something nefarious out there. I don't know. I know that in Summer Wells' case, something nefarious happened.
Yeah. And you're right. If it is an accident, people will still go with conspiracies, and they just need to leave the family alone.
I agree with that very much.
Well, I need to go and wrangle.
Happy birthday!
The dogs and the electrician.
All right, and I gotta.
Dad, say hello.
All right, thank you for calling.
In America.
G'day, Josh. I've got another Josh out the front.
That's what I heard.
You hear that?
Thank you, sir.
That was my dad.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, Maud.
All right.
Thanks, Pat.
Take care. All right. So great call. I mean, honestly. Let's go to 612 area code. 612 area code. Let me see here. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Josh, thank you for taking my call. Is your name Joshua or Josh?
It's Joshua, but you can call me Josh.
Yes, Joshua in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Psalm, First and Second Samuel, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea. So, yeah, that's a wonderful name.
Thank you. I appreciate
you
it.
live up to it.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I used to be able to say all the books of the Bible.
Day. Yeah.
I used to be
me
able
too.
To.
I'm 79 years old, and I try not to forget them, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, well, yeah. My grandma's 78.
Wow.
So you guys could start a club or something.
Yes, life goes fast. It goes so fast. So hug your loved ones and be kind to each other and try to understand and forgive. I wish I would have done more of that, but I'm working on it. You're never done until you're done.
Absolutely.
Amen. Yeah. My thought for the day, and you kind of have to think about this a little bit. My thinking is Summer doesn't exist because she was just gone. I don't think they want to find her, especially her parents. You know, when Candace said, and she rolled her eyes, she was just gone. I mean, it's like a disappearing act. In other words, she doesn't exist. You know,
not to them anymore. She certainly doesn't.
No. And that saying means they want her out of the picture. They want her forgotten. It doesn't mean that she didn't exist, but to me it means poof, they want her to disappear.
Right.
That's how I read that.
I agree with
And yeah, I thought I would share that, and I'm listening to your program, and I appreciate your hard work, and the Lord bless you.
Oh, thank you.
And all your YouTubers and your mods, and I appreciate your show because there's not all this swearing on it.
Thank you.
I'm not a teetotaler, but I think there's especially the women. I don't think it flatters them. I mean, that's only my opinion. I think if they would clean up their act, they would have more respect. Of course, I'm from a generation where we didn't swear all that much, like every other word. You know, to me, it's offensive.
Well, we're talking about little kids. We're talking about missing children and missing folks. And, you know, every now and then the emotions sometimes run high. And you say something, you know, that you're like, well, I shouldn't have said that. But we're not like this.
Well, that's different.
This isn't a locker room. You know, it's not a locker room.
Yeah. Or PG.
No. And we're talking
every other word.
Right. And we're talking about missing children and families that are desperate for help. People, I don't think people understand, especially when you're doing a show that, look, I've done shows where that was kind of the local color, you know, that was kind of how it was, you know, the target audience isn't what something like this is, and it's disrespectful to the people that it's disrespectful to people that listen to the show, and a lot of our audience are mothers, grandmothers who are watching their children or grandchildren sometimes on the TV, and you know, they should be able to walk away and not have to worry that, you know, there's a slew of F-bombs coming.
Exactly. And some people are hypocritical about it and say, I read the Bible, I'm a religious person, and F this and F that and F this. I don't know how they are thinking. I don't want to accuse anybody, or people will say, "Oh, you're judging me." No, there's such a thing as discernment. You discern whether you're going to go with a person that steals. You don't want to be caught with them if they're stealing. That's discernment. You're not judging them. Would you agree with that?
I would completely agree with that. I would completely agree with that.
I'm so glad you took my call.
Well, I appreciate you calling.
Bless you, and you're welcome.
All
Bye
right.
for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Another great call. We're on a roll. Let's go. 870 Jonesboro, Arkansas. What can I do for you this evening?
Josh.
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
This is Arkansas.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
I'm pretty good, but I'm not exactly from Jonesboro. I'm from a little town called Truman, which is only about 15 miles from Jonesboro.
Okay.
Okay, I want to discuss a little bit about Summer.
Yes, sure.
I have followed this case since the day she disappeared, and my mind gets a little confused about on some of it. I mean, not confused, but you read so many comments and hear so much stuff, And some days I wonder if Candace did something, and Don don't know. And then I turn around, I wonder if Don did something, and Candace don't know. And then I turn around and wonder if they're both in on it. And to be honest with you, I have never really cleared H.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, you know, they say H is a kid, H is a kid. They don't mean nothing no more.
Oh, I
What about
agree.
the little guy? What about the little guy a few months ago, 14, killed, raped his little 10-year-old cousin?
Yep,
That
I
stuff goes
remember.
on all the time.
It absolutely does. I
But,
mean, there's been much younger killers than a 15-year-old. I'm, you know, not saying that I believe that or look, nobody
Oh.
is cleared.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not accusing him at all. But everybody, you know, for a long time was saying, you know, keep him out of it. He's just a kid. But that doesn't mean anything anymore.
It really doesn't. But the
also,
speculation about him, you know, God, look at his role models. Look at the people he ran around with, and it's just, you know.
Oh, exactly. And I'm a big believer in they do just about what you're taught. These children are.
Yeah,
or what they're raised.
and
Not always.
And I feel the same exact way that you do when it's like, did Candace do something and Don didn't know? Did Don do something and Candace didn't know? Which, by the way, that scenario to me is less likely than any of them. All scenarios that I always come back to have Candace involved, but they don't all have Don necessarily involved until after the fact. And, you know, I believe right now that he knows. I believe that I think he knows what happened. I think he knows where she is. I don't know what his culpability is, but you're right. You know, it's just the back and the forth and the back and the forth.
Yeah, this way I've been. And I mean, you know, I even thought, there's no way I'm taking it for either one of them. It's not that at all. But, you know, then it just runs through my mind, maybe Don did sneak up there and get Candace, Summer out of there. And Candace didn't know it. But who knows? I mean, you know. But another thing I was wondering about is, it's like, well, Candace is now, if she's staying with somebody, she's probably told them. Maybe not.
She's a
I mean,
she's a
she
tough
may
nut
be
to
feeling
crack,
him
I think.
full of bull too. Yeah, I don't know. But I was wondering if she did tell him the truth and this all comes down, wouldn't they get in a lot of trouble for that?
Do you think anybody that's willing to be
Or
friends with Candace has that kind of moral compass?
Well, this one woman got on YouTube one night and was telling everybody off what a good person Candace was, and she was staying with her, and she'll stand by her all the way.
Yeah, well,
I don't know, but it's just it's a really sad situation. And also one more thing, I'll get off because I know people want to call. You know, I've heard so many people say, why don't they go arrest Candace? What for?
right.
They have no reason to arrest Candace
Not
unless
yet.
one of them boys will talk. I mean, it's not against the law to live in filth. Like
No, but
I
it
live
is.
in Arkansas, and when
Go ahead.
I was a younger girl, there was a family lived down from us, and I know they had 10 kids, and that's the filthiest people you ever seen. But all of them was happy. Some kids played like crazy out, you know, was really happy, and I was eating. But the law can't arrest her for being nasty. Now, they can say, I will come take your kids away from you if you don't clean it up. And that's what they did. They took,
And that's not
Candace's
criminal?
kids. Well, apparently it ain't, because they haven't
I think
arrested
it is now. It
I mean,
may
they can
not have
take
been
her.
back then.
Yeah.
I mean, there
Well, I
are
mean,
there
they,
are crimes that have been committed. I mean, neglect is a crime. The state of California dictates that I must provide my children with adequate care until they're 18 years old, meaning feed them, bathe them, get them to school, keep the house, you're not allowed to, kids aren't allowed to live in filth. CPS can come in and take your whole family from you. And I believe that it is I think it is a crime what they've done to those children and the way
Right.
that they made them live. Now the law may
Well,
not agree
yeah.
with me.
Well, I'm like you. I think it's a crime, but they don't push it. There's kids all around nasty and
I
living
know.
in nasty homes. And I've seen, CPS tell them, you get it cleaned up, or we're taking your kids.
Right,
And they'll come get the people's kids,
right.
but they don't arrest the parents. So I don't understand all that either.
I don't either.
But anyway, it's my first time calling.
I appreciate
in,
you
and I
calling
just
in.
want to let you know my opinion.
Thank you.
And I watch you all the time. I'm not a YouTube member.
It's okay.
I'm 73. Will be Saturday, and I draw a very small Social Security, but I never miss your show.
Well, that means
together,
everything, and I appreciate that.
And I always try to remember to put my thumbs up for you if I can't do nothing else.
Thank you so much. That's
Put
all
my
I
thumb
ask.
up. Okay. Yeah. Well, you have a good evening and
All
take
right.
care of yourself.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Six 618. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh, it's Mama Bear.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you, I really like it when you do the documentaries. I think you are really good at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really enjoy
I do.
doing them.
I think you might want to try that, a little bit more. You do a really good job with them.
Yeah, that's
Summer Wells.
That's the goal. Yes.
Oh, well, then I'm telling you, it's good. But don't put on the makeup when you're doing them. We've already got a few of them.
Yeah.
You ever seen the women that put on the makeup while they're doing it? Huh?
I have, yes. They've got the.
But no, I think
they've got the
I just
market
think
cornered.
you're really good at that, Josh. Huh?
They've got the market cornered on that.
Yeah. I just think you're really good at the documentaries. I've been watching you for a while, and I'm like, he's really good at it. That's what he should be doing.
Thank
You
you.
do a really good job with them.
I appreciate
I
it.
don't know what to say about Summer Wells anymore. I've been here since the beginning, and I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't even have a theory anymore, and I don't even have who I think done it. There's just been so much. It's just sad. I'm not so sure, though. I do kind of think law enforcement knows more than what we know. I really do. What do you think? Do you think they do?
I've thought that they did, but I'm less sure of that every day.
Because I just wonder, how sometimes it takes about a year or two before they arrest somebody, and then all of a sudden they'll arrest them, and they'll be like, oh, wow, it's been a while back. And I just wonder if they don't know, and they just have to have all that evidence lined up. I hope that's what it is.
It's completely possible. And like I said, I felt more sure about that at the beginning. But I just, I know that these things take time, but the fact of the matter is there's not even a slow trickle of information. Now that is the same as the Cal City Boys, Classic and Sincere, the same way. So, we're honestly, I think all of us are kind of clinging on to hope through that case.
Yes, I'm hoping a beautiful little baby. And I don't know the Kylie, or I've been watching that too, and that's just another rabbit hole like Summer with all the stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I just kind of think back when I was young, and I'm like, I'm not so sure there wasn't like a group of them sitting down there by the lake. Hey, let's go down by the lake, and left the other group and wasn't just sitting down there and something didn't happen. Like, she went to go in reverse and accidentally went to go and went and drive, or somebody didn't bump her or something like that, and they didn't out, and
Right.
leave.
Right.
I think, if that did happen, I think that somebody tried to get her out because that window was broke, or I think there might have been somebody sitting in the car with her. But I'll tell you, that's happened here. I mean, there was a lady sitting outside the bar, and it was a river bar, and she went in drive instead of reverse. And literally the cook that was in this bar on the river that we have ran outside, jumped in the water, and saved her. She almost died.
Wow.
But she had been drinking and got in her car, and instead of going putting it in reverse, she put it in drive.
I mean,
and I'm not so sure that happen.
I think with the Kylie Rodney case that I don't know obviously how it's going to turn out, but I do think that it was an accident, but I don't, I don't know. It just seems like that's what it could have been. I think that it's been made into somewhat of a soap opera.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
the speculation started really, really fast with very,
Right.
very little anything. I mean, they had her ex-boyfriend or whatever who wasn't even in town at the time, possibly being involved. This other girl, I don't even want to say her name, but I don't know. I don't know. It seems rough. It seems a little rough to me, especially from the very beginning. Without many.
If there's anybody involved, I don't think it was purposely done. I think it was some kind of accident, like the car went in the water, or she OD'd or something and they freaked out. I don't think somebody did something to her and put her in the water. I just don't think that.
Well, and that's another thing. If you think about it, so they say, people saying, well, what if she was found in the back seat? What if she was found? Look, she could have very well tried to get out. And
exactly.
Under the best of circumstances, with people who are even trained to do that kind of stuff or have some knowledge of that, it's still tough to do. So
right,
it's nighttime.
I used to be so scared to go with my kids. I'm not so much now, because I used to always think in my back, I got 3 baby girls in the back. That ever happened, how would I get all them out? You know what I mean?
I do.
Don't think about it. They're grown now.
I do.
To worry about it.
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't. I think they, they were kids and something happened, I mean, I don't drink now, but I've had my drunken days. And I tell you, I don't know how I made it home sometimes.
Look, everybody has, everybody has made mistakes. And that's another thing, when people are, kind of bashing the parents, says, oh, well, they let her out too late, or they did this, or, she shouldn't have been, everybody makes mistakes.
I think that kid was responsible, like a lot of people think. I really do.
She very well could have not even been drunk.
That we don't even know that yet. Did you see her boss and her coworkers on TV?
I didn't. No.
Oh my gosh, it was so sad. Yes, she had a job that she had been working at for a year and a half, some tea shop or something. And the boss, and the workers were crying and stuff, and they were just talking about how she just had it together. This kid did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll just have to pray for her and hope they figure this summer stuff out and her out.
Yeah.
The main reason why I called you, I love them documentaries.
Thank
I love it. I'm a documentary freak. I think your voice, you got the right voice for that. And another thing, you got a good voice for being a DJ. And DJs make good money.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I very much
Wedding
appreciate-
DJs, have you ever looked into that, Josh? Being a wedding DJ?
like the
on the
Wedding Singer.
side?
You ever seen the movie The Wedding Singer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my brother hired these DJs for his wedding. They were so good. They talked like you, you know, they joked. I mean, it was so entertaining. And I think it was like $2,000 he paid them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I, weddings are not really my thing. I'm a hopeless romantic, but I don't think I really don't think I do very good doing something like that. I mean, I probably could wing it, but, I have done it for like friends of, for their wedding and stuff like that. And I've emceed shows before, but, yeah, no, I do appreciate that though. It is something that I enjoy doing.
I want you to keep up the documentaries. I just and I want to give you like an idea I wanted to do. Do you know the story of I don't know if they were scientists or what up, and they went in the mountain and then they went up there and found them all, and they never really figured out what's happened with them. Do you remember? You know that story I'm talking about?
Where did this happen? What part of the country?
It was in the mountains of, like, I think over by Russia.
No,
And
I don't think I
happened in
am.
the 50s, and 9 of them went up there, Josh, and they were like specialists. Like, they knew how to do this. They were going up there to study, and they didn't come back in 30 days, which they were supposed to be back in a week. So they went looking for them. Oh, you got to look it up. I can't think of the name of it, but till this day, they still don't know what happened, because it's so odd. Like, their eyeballs were missing, and this one was over here, and extra clothes on. This one was. It was just really bizarre. There's like 7 theories to this.
Yeah, well,
The story.
yeah, is one of the theories an avalanche?
Yeah, and then there's one where they thought maybe the Russians, because when they did autopsies on them, they actually had radiation in them. So they thought maybe they come upon like a Russian test thing,
Yeah, the Russians
like,
have had many problems with radiation in their history. Not to mention Chernobyl.
Look it up. Where can I message you at to send that to you?
You can email it to me.
Okay.
I'm actually I
good.
did just find it. 1, 2.
Oh, you will get deep in that. I'm telling you, it's like, what happened to these people?
Right.
Did the aliens get them? Did the Russians do it? Did the Indians do it? Did they just get hypothermia so bad they freaked out and, killed each other? I don't know. It's bizarre, Josh.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks completely interesting.
Yeah, you might like that one, but I'm going to let you go.
Well, I appreciate it.
Else can call it.
Well, I appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Keep the documentaries up.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, Josh.
Bye-bye. Another great call. Let me see here. 920, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm a first-time caller, first-time listener. I just had a couple questions or things that I want to point out about the Kylie Rodney case. So when they found her friend Sammy, like, they confirmed that she was found right, and on Instagram, Sammy said that they couldn't confirm whether the information was true or not. And a couple other questions or points that I want to make is, why was the front windshield broken in but the back windshield rolled down? Or was that like that when they found the body?
So you're talking about the front windshield, like where it was broken?
The front windshield. And then the back driver, or on the driver's side, the back left window was rolled down. I was wondering if they rolled it down or if it was already rolled down.
So Adventures with Purpose they haven't released those details. Now, from what I understand, the front windshield, that could be from her hitting it on impact. It's quite common to, and if she wasn't wearing a seatbelt, she very well, once you hit that water, I mean, she's going to fly right into the windshield, as graphic as that is.
And if she did drive, or if her car got driven into the water, wouldn't the airbag deploy?
I mean, just depending on the vehicle, you would think so, but if you're not buckled up and you hit the water, they could delay. It could be an older car. There's malfunction. There's a lot of things that could have went wrong. I mean, are you thinking that there's something nefarious? Is that how you feel?
I mean, me personally, I think there's more to the story.
What makes you think that? I'm
just curious why. Because the Ventures with Purpose were told by the police, don't search where they found her, and they said, we already searched there, search over here where we really haven't checked out. And then they found her within 30 minutes where the cops told them not to look, or told them not to look. I'm not saying the cops are being suspicious. I'm just saying it's kind of fishy that she was missing for 2 weeks. They found her within 30 minutes, not far from where the party was and where the cars were parked.
Well,
that's a little odd.
There's 11 miles of coastline that they had to search. They said the water was up higher during when they were looking, and they're not master divers specialists with the equipment that Adventures with Purpose has. I mean, I
understand.
I get that it looks odd. You're like, well, you're going, well, why did they not find her? So they were chasing every lead. It was not just a water search. That's not what that was. It was an everywhere search. And you're talking about a sheriff's department who, I mean, what kind of experience do they really have doing that? Obviously, when Adventures with Purpose left, they said, hey, we're going to train our team based on their recommendations. And to me, I think that is fantastic for them to put their egos aside and know, hey, you know what? We need some help here. We may have missed something. I don't think for a second the sheriff's department, when they said, oh, they found him, they go, oh crap. I think that it was a great thing.
Yeah. And a couple more things, like they said about 200, 300 kids were at this party, correct?
Something like that. Yeah.
So you're telling me that she was the only one that went missing and then ended up being killed or died out of 300 kids. And like nobody really wants to talk about it. Cops don't really want to talk about it. And nobody's going to these older guys that were supplying them with the drugs, the marijuana, etc. So that just doesn't seem, it seems odd.
Are you familiar with Occam's razor?
No.
It's a theory that a lot of people subscribe to, and the theory is that the most simple explanation is usually what happened. Okay. And so it's not, to me, it's not that hard to believe that a young girl who may or may not have been drinking, who may or may not be familiar with that area, who's only had her driver's license for over, a little over a year, could drive directly into a body of water at night and nobody hear that. I believe that is completely plausible, because they say that it was about 200 yards from the party. So 200 yards is 2 football fields in the dark, in the woods. Okay. If there is a party and there were that many people there, it's going to be hard to hear. It's going to be hard to hear that. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not, like I said, your speculations are valid and they're not crazy. They're not disrespectful. They're not, they're not out of bounds. I think that, you have to, no, it's what you're thinking is a very logical way. I just, look, I've thought the same thing but every time I just come back to it seems like, what's that?
All not intentional or anybody had anything to do with it. I'm just saying, like, can it be that simple after 2 weeks?
Yes.
Like, it's me personally, I believe there's more to the story. And then one more thing, and then
one second, but what about what about the people that rolled off the side of the hill? The couple that was going to Reno or Vegas, that it was announced the day after. I mean, it took them 10 days to find them.
Wasn't that the couple that went missing when she got found?
Correct.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. And I'm pretty sure there's another female missing that Adventures with Purpose is trying to find, or she was missing or something like that. I don't know if you heard about that.
I have, yeah. Is it Fuentes?
Yeah. One more thing, like, so you know her friend Sammy, right?
I'm vaguely familiar.
She was like came forth and was talking about Sammy Smith. She was a close friend of hers. Apparently, after she was found like a day after or something like that, her and her family like suddenly left California to go on vacation. I don't know if that's true, but I read.
I don't know.
About that.
I heard that they left town, and look, I don't know if it was a vacation or not, and I don't know if they did, but yes, I've heard that too. The young girl put herself. Did he just drop off? I think he dropped off. I'll just go ahead. By doing the interviews, they really expose themselves to a bunch of really psychotic humans. And, I don't know. I mean, I'd have probably taken off too. I would have probably taken off too. That, but yes, I agree with you. And excellent call. Thank you so much. And we're going to do, let's see here.
Hey.
Yeah. Are you back?
Hey.
Yeah.
No, this is a different guy. Is that okay?
Yeah. It's okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, sure. What can I do for you?
How much is that acoustic foam padding like per pad?
What's that?
How much is the acoustic foam padding on your wall per pad?
Per pad. It is, I mean, you have to buy it in like either 24, 48 or 100. So I really don't remember what I paid for, but it was
really more than $20
for the big pack. Yeah. But I mean, what are you trying to cover?
Me? Nothing. I was just wondering.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I mean, you can find it on Amazon for sure. They have many different options
Just wondering why you bought so much foam.
for soundproof.
You got so much. I know, but you got so much foam up in the wall. And did it come patterned like that, or did you have to buy like half red, half black?
No, I chose the numbers myself, or the colors myself, and I wanted to cover the walls completely with it.
Why would anyone buy that much foam? Why would someone buy that much foam?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like more than $20 worth?
I believe it was probably, probably more than $20 worth. I think. I don't know.
Do you use it all up too?
Yeah, I did.
That's it on the wall? Like that's all of it?
I mean, this is look, man. You just busted my balls. Is that what you're doing?
I'm literally curious. I don't do YouTube. I don't do videos. I was just curious. Does it really make that much of a difference? Yeah.
Yes, it makes a big difference. A lot of people use them.
Could you step outside, like one step out of your room and say something and see if, take the microphone just like a step out of the room?
Probably. And I don't know.
No, you don't like that car. I don't like that car. Not a very good car.
Yikes. Take a class caller. That was guy's really interested in foam. Waited up like, by the way, that sounded like the exact same guy. Sounded like the exact same guy. Am I off on that at all? Am I off on that at all? Same guy? But I don't know. Sounds like the same guy.
No, you don't like that car. I don't like that car. Not a very good car.
Saying hi, I'll catch up. Always good to see you, Linda. Yeah, it sounded like the same guy, but I don't know. Couldn't care less. He's really interested in foam. Really, really interested in foam. I like when he says, is a different guy. Is that okay? Well, yeah. I mean, it's a call-in show. I sounded exactly like the other guy. No, it was not William. No, it was not William. The foam guy. Yeah, I know he was baiting me. I understand. This is funny. It was a great call. The best. Funny stuff. Thought it sounded like your friend that you podcast with. No. 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 Let's see. Well, I was thinking of interviewing you. I was going to ask for a pic of your keyboard thing. No, I don't have a pic of my keyboard thing. Do you like foam? Like, why would somebody buy so much foam? Do they sell that foam? Yeah. They certainly do sell that foam. What is it, like $20? Yeah, like I don't know. Like it could be depending on how much you want. How much do you want, man? If you want a lot, then buy a lot. The more that you buy, the more it's going to cost. And it absolutely makes a difference in a major way. In a major way, it makes a difference. In a major way. That's why I have it. That's why I have it, because it helps with the sound. It deadens the sound. It's not like that hard to realize, to me, it makes sense why somebody would have that. Let me see here. He asked me if I had any extra. I actually do have a little bit left over. I do. I have a little bit left over. Not a lot. But I got a few pieces. I got a few pieces. Did it come patterned like that? No, I did that myself. I did that one myself, and then I even turned them opposite ways. Like I turned the foam opposite ways. The thing about like when somebody calls in, and like obviously I knew that it was a prank call. You would think, like, if you're gonna sit there and like wait on hold or something like that, that you would at least come up with something funny. It was funny, admit it, bro. I truly didn't. I mean, it was funny that like he was calling and asking those questions, but I don't know. Like, I didn't know if it like was a funny prank call. Didn't seem like a funny prank call to me. Like you gotta come with something like a little bit different. Like see more butts, or it would have been funny if he would have said, "Hey, is your refrigerator running?" Look, man, and the thing is, look, he didn't call up and say a bunch of like foul stuff or anything like that. I don't do YouTube, but I'm more so you don't do YouTube, but what you do is you go around watching lives with people that have foam on them and wonder how much the foam cost. Good one. Good one. I did. I absolutely turned them opposite ways. I noticed the difference in the lines on the foam and placement was intentional. Correct. And I picked my own color. I did everything on my own. I did like, you'd be surprised. And then I went as far as to get spray on 3M tack where I could put them on the wall myself. I did that, which was That can's like $3.95. Something like that, like $3.95. And then so I decided, like, hey, I kind of want this to I don't want sound bouncing off of the walls. I didn't want foam, so I put up a foam that absorbs the sound. I know. Yes, Joni, it was a very simple, it was a very simple, you can't see it over here, but I have these big strips of, like these big power strips that are mounted on the wall, and you'll never guess. But what I did was I actually cut the foam in a certain way so the power strips could still be on the wall, and it was fantastic. That was just a really clever move by me. I did it all by myself. It's good stuff. It was really good. Foam. I like your foam. I like your foam. You guys are hilarious. Thank you guys for being here, and I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe on the way out. If you haven't, please leave a comment. I'll see if I could get back to you.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
I had to charge it. It was. I bought the 24 pack.
But I had to put her
Thank you.
on the side and where
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me. Right. Idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
But I had to put her on the side and where was the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me. But I had to put her on the side and where was the boys. But I had to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I had to put her. But I had to put her on the side and where was the boys.